Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. We're on to our day 7 of our 30 days challenge today. Okay, and today we're going to finish off the mediasoup publish function. Okay, we've done the Git capability yesterday, the RTP Git capability, and today we're going to do the publish for both server side and client side. Okay, before we continue, I would like to show you a little bit about the schedule of this 30 days challenge. I've done some adjustments, okay. I have brought forward the Flutter P2P app, okay. Like today is we're going to do the publish, and tomorrow we're going to finish off the subscription, okay. If we haven't got enough time, we might push that out, but I'm pretty sure we should be okay tomorrow to finish this project off. And then we're going to do a whiteboard streaming. It's basically a a canvas streaming to WebRTC. And then we're going to move on to this Flutter P2P app. I'm still deciding niche or just P2P, okay. And we're going to write the server side in Dart as well. So this project will be purely Dart, okay, no JavaScript, nothing, okay, just Dart and Flutter. Alright, enough talks. This, by the way, this link I will drop it down the bottom, okay? You can feel free to look at it, see what's coming up. By the way, my name is Jason. I do WebRTC tutorials and some Golang, Flutter, React, JavaScript type of tutorial. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, and you will see many more this type of tutorials in the future. Also, there's links down the bottom or the right hand top corner to become a Patreon. Support the channel. If you like to do that, feel free to do that. Alright, enough talk, so let's get started with coding. Okay, let's get started with the coding. We'll close that off, we don't need this anymore. And we'll go to our terminal and we'll go and open these projects up. Open in Visual Studio Code. Okay, here's our client and our server. Okay, enlarge these. Okay, this is all open now, so we will go do our client first. Okay, let's do that. That's our client. Okay, what we're going to do today is this function here is the publish. Okay, we better change these. We will change all these into publish, and we will go and write this function, okay, in a second. Publish. Okay, that will be subscribe. We can do that later. Okay, let's go and make this function here somewhere. Let's do it here. Columns, publish, async. Okay, actually it doesn't have to be async. Just a normal function is fine. Okay, we will get the events from the button click. Okay, the first thing we need to find out is if this is a webcam, okay? So we get that by the event target. Okay, that's from we get this from the button click, okay, if you're wondering what this is, okay? The ID is the actual button ID, okay? I will show you. I'm sorry to those who already know all this, but hey, I'm just trying to make sure everyone understands this, so I tend to talk a little bit more, so make sure you understand, you know, why we do these things. Okay, this is the ID we're getting from the events, okay? So if this equals to button btn underscore webcam, then that becomes true, okay? That's basically what we're doing here. Okay, and the next thing we need to the publish text, because in our UI we will have a feedback to the user of what is published, okay? So that's what we're going to do, and we've made this variable up here. All right, text publish. Okay, we're going to put some text in there, okay? That's why we're doing this. We will do a shorthand if else statement, okay? If is webcam, then we go text webcam, okay? Else we go text screen, okay? We only have two options, okay? Either screen or camera, okay? That's what we're going to do here. And then we do bnt screen we disable this button. Okay, so we already published for the the camera, so we disable the button for the screen and the cam. Okay, so we don't double publish. That's what we're doing. So true. Alright, and now we prepare to send a message to our WebSocket server. Okay, so as usual, we console message equals, okay, the type, which is the event name. Okay, and we'll call this create producer transport. Okay, with mediasoup, before we can publish anything, we need to create this transport first. Okay, then we get a reply. Then we can then we can allow the client to publish the stream onto the server. All right, and this is force TPC. Okay, we go false. That's in the documentation as well. Okay, there's quite a few things, but okay, RTP capabilities. We need to tell the server, what's going on with our not router, RTP. We want. It doesn't matter what we put here, as long as on the server side we pick up the same what we put here, and we want to pass it back from our server. Okay, RTP capabilities. Okay, that's basically what that message is, and then we're going to stringify it with JSON before we sending it back. Stringify message. All right, it's pretty simple, if you know what you're doing initially. Then we pick up the socket, okay, and then we send this to our server. All right, this is the client side. Okay, this is the first step whenever you publish a stream to mediasoup. Okay, then we will go to our server side and write this event and give the answer back, and we need to come back to the client to write the next step. I hope this style, I think it's the best way to learn, so you know exactly the step rather than me doing it and then you're all confused, you don't know where you are. So alright, let's do the server side. Okay, now let's go to the server side. Okay, we'll maximize this. Okay, the first thing we need to do is listen to the event. Okay, so what we do is we go here and we go to case. Okay, we'll go case and the event we're expecting here is, let's go and look here. Okay, it's always handy that we have both open here, so we can refer it to any time we want or we like. And we'll do a break here. Okay, and then let's do a function. Okay, we'll try to keep everything the same. Okay, we'll make it on create transport. Okay, do it same as above. Okay, we'll pass on the event and the WebSocket, and then we just go below that and let's make this event here. Okay, event, it's a string. I think that's not a cap S, by the way, it's a little lowercase string, and we want a WebSocket. Okay, the WebSocket is this one. Okay, before we go any further on this one, we need to create us another function. Okay, this function is reusable because we will need it for the consumer. Okay, this one is producer. Producer means publisher. Okay, so we're going to make the create web RTC transport. That's basically, I think when you interpret to the normal web RTC API, it's really the PC. Okay, that's what it is. Okay, so let's go and make that function right now. All right, PC means peer connection. Okay, just to let you know. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we're going to go to this library folder, and let's create a new function. We'll call it create web RTC transport. Okay, TS. All right, let's get into this one. Okay, what we need to do here is let's give a couple of spaces because we need to input a couple of things in a sec. So let's make this function web RTC transport. Okay, and we need this to be an async, and we need to pass in the mediasoup router, and the type for that is router. Okay, the router is from mediasoup. Yep. Okay, the auto import is perfect, and it is a function. Okay, another thing we need to import in as well is our config. Okay, let's do that now. Okay, import from config. Okay, and we need to bring in the config from here. Alright, let's start making this thing. Okay, we'll do a cons first. Okay, we'll need some Mac variables. Okay, so basically we are destructing from the config file. Okay, let's do this first so it's not as confusing. Okay, from mediasoup from web RTC transport. Okay, so basically what we're doing, this cons, is we destructing the what's inside this config. Okay, let's open that so it makes you more clear. So what we need is the web RTC. Okay, this part here. Okay, in this part we need to add two more things. Okay, into this settings. Okay, first one is we need max income bitrate. Okay, so we limit the bitrate. Other words, we'll do it at 150,000. I think that's what the one of the settings in the documentation. A second. Okay, 150,000, and the other one, another setting we need here is initialize availability outage bitrate. Okay, so basically we're setting a bitrate for the limit for this transport. Okay, that's what we're doing here. So we add these two here because we will need it on the transport. Okay, so the first one is max. See, now the autocomplete comes up, and also the initial available outgoing bitrate. Okay, so we get these two from our config file. Okay, and now we've got these, and we will go and start creating our transport. Okay, and then return it back to our server. Okay, we'll do a cons transport equals await. Okay, that's why we needed that async. Await for mediasoup router. Okay, is what we want. Mediasoup router, which is this guy here. Did I spell it wrong up there? I probably have. Okay. Alright, then dot. Sorry, that has to be in the loop, within the loop here. That's the reason. Okay, and then we want to create web RTC transport. Okay, and we're using the API, the library now to do all this. Okay, now what we need in there is basically we got to pull this stuff from the config. Well, one of them anyway, the listen IPs. We want that from the config, and mediasoup dot web RTC transport, and then listen IPs. Okay, also comes from the config. Okay, listen IPs, it's this guy here. So we're grabbing this array, so that's where the transport is going to listen to, is that address. Okay, and the next one is enable UDP. Yes, we want UDP. Enable TCP. Yes, we want that as well. And then prefer UDP, we want to be true. So that means we prefer to go through UDP. If it doesn't work, then we'll use TCP. Because for this kind of communication, UDP is a lot better than TCP. Okay, this is totally different subject. Okay, let's not get into that. Alright, so that is the transport we just created, and let's do a check, if our max income bit. Okay, and let's do a try catch here. Okay, so try await transport dot set max income rate, incoming bit rate I should say, and then we stick that variable up there. Okay, max income. So we limit this transport not to go anything beyond that. Okay, and on here we'll just console log the error. console error, the error. Okay, this is unlikely going to happen, but hey, let's put it in. Okay, now we're all pretty much done here. So what we need to do here is we need to return the what do you call it, once the catch is all good, we will return the transport. Okay, let's not put in the wrong place, eh? Let's go return. We want to return an object. Okay, and first thing we want to do is we return the transport, and then we're going to params. Okay, we'll call this params. We will need to access the stuff from the client. Okay, we'll call it params. The first thing we need is ID. It's transport ID, so we know what's transport this publisher or what do you call it, publisher or subscribers ID. Okay, that's basically what this is. It's you can like understand it as your peer connection ID. That's what we're doing. Okay, I'm going to copy and paste this. Okay, because it's basically the ICE and other stuff, the information. Okay, and we grab this from the transport. Okay, because the transport will provide all of this to us. Okay, cool. And now we need to export a this function so we can access it from our main file. Okay, which is create RTC with RTC transport. Okay, we're all done. So now we can close this, go back to our main, and let's finish off our what do you call it, our on publish, no, what's that event called, on create producer transport. Okay, that's creating a PC. Okay, let's do that, and this will have to be a async. Okay, we need to change that as an async because we need to wait for stuff before we can go to the next stage. Okay, and again we need to do a try catch. Okay, and let's deal with this try catch first. Console error, and print out the error. Okay, now so when we get the event, okay, we will destruct this from the function we're about to call, which is create with RTC transport. Okay, and that will auto complete. Let's double check, make sure we importing the right thing, and then we're going to pass on the mediasoup router. Okay, mediasoup router, remember we put it as a global what do you call it, variable, so we can pick it up here. Okay, in the real world, I think I said this before, you would probably want to make an array somewhere and save all that information there. Okay, rather than having a a global thing here. It's not a good practice, like my opinion. Okay, the next thing what we want to get out of this is we want the transport. Okay, and also the params. Okay, that's, remember we've done these. We want this and that. Okay, that's what we're doing here. Okay, now once we have that, we'll call this this producer. We need to put another array, okay, because we need this globally later on. So we need to make another array. It's called producer. I think we might have that. No, we don't have it. We're going to make it now. Make producer transport. Okay, and the type for that is transport from mediasoup. Okay, because we need to access this. So for a real production app, okay, you would really want to make an array to store this, store that, and when we do the subscriber, there will be a consumer transport. So these three should go into one array and you store it somewhere, like in a memory. Okay, but for our purpose, we just gotta go and do this global array. Then we're safe to go like that. All right, let's continue on this. Let's put our transport into that what do you call it? Our variable we just made up there, so we can access it everywhere in the app now. Okay, so it equals this transport. And then last thing we need to do now is we're going to send back to the user, so the client side, not the user. So we pass the, okay, let me have a look. What do we expect on our send? Okay, we pass the WebSocket. Okay, and then the type, let's call this publisher. No, let's stick with the mediasoup convention there, rather than doing it as publisher. So we call this as producer transport created. Okay, let's call it like that, so we're not confusing with all the other stuff. And we're going to stick the params on there too. Okay, this is it for creating the transport. Okay, so basically what we're doing is when the client creates the transport, we prepare it on the server side. We stick it in this global variable because we will need this in a second when we actually put stream into it. And then we return it back to the client saying, okay, this transport is created. Here's the parameters. Okay, here's the parameters. If you hop over, there you go. That's what we're giving back. That's basically the peer connection information the client side need to connect to the server. All right, that's a bit of a mouthful, isn't it? And also, if it's an error, we better tell the the client, that it didn't work. Okay, there's some error with the server, and please stop your app. Okay, and we pass the error back. Okay, so we pretty much done. That is it on a server for now. Okay, now we need to go back to the client side and deal with the information we're about to get back from the server. Alright, let's go back to our client. This is a bit of mouthful, isn't it? You know, just to pushing the stream onto the server. You know, it's compared to ION SFU, this is really complicated, like honestly, you know. If I choose to do a production project, I think like my personal, because I know Go quite well, so I probably would go with like Ion, you know, or Pion, you know, a lot easier. This is like, it's a real pain, really. Just pushing a stream, and you have to do all this. And guess what? We still got a lot to do on the client side. So okay, let's deal with it. Less talking, more action. So now we need to listen to this guy here. Okay, we'll go here, right here. Okay, we need to listen to this. Okay, let's do another case here. Okay, paste that in just in case we do typos. Okay, that's why I do that. And let's do a break down here. Okay, and we will create another function. Okay, we'll follow our thing. Let's do it this way. Let's follow our convention. Okay, let's use lower cases. Okay, so we are uniform, you know, throughout the whole app, not having strange variables. Okay, so that's a lowercase producer transport created. Okay, and we're about to create this function, and right here we need to pass some stuff down. Okay, hold on a second. Let's try to find out where I am. Right, we just need to pass our response down the track. Okay, a second. Yep, we just need to pass that response. Okay, we'll do it on top. Make this function. Okay, and we expected the response. We'll call it event. Okay, that's what we've been calling everything else. So let's not change it, you know, like here. Alright, let's check the error. Okay, if error, events, error, we'll just console log. Okay, we won't do anything right now. Error, if we get an error back with this event, then we'll say on publish pub producer. Sorry, not publisher. Producer transport error. Create error. Okay, we'll call that. Okay, and then we'll just log the event out. Okay, event dot error. Cool. Okay, and we should return, so we stop this thing off. Return. Okay, if it's an error, we won't do anything else. Otherwise, we need to listen to this stuff we get back from the server. And also, here has to be an async function. Okay. Alright, let's do it. Okay, transport. Let's do a cons actually. Cons transport equals device. Okay, dot create send transport. Okay, we get this from the API. Okay, if you're wondering what that is. And data. Okay, we want the params that comes back, and we put all the stuff onto our device. So basically what we're doing here is we're connecting our local peer into the server. Okay, that's what this transport thing is. Okay, once we connect it, okay, we will need to listen to the events, okay, of the transport. Okay, let's start doing that. Transport.on. Okay, all this is on the, what do you call it, the documentation. Okay, on connect, that's one of the events. So once the peer connection is connected to the server, okay, this event will get fired. Okay, that's what that is. DTLS parameters. Okay, we destruct that from what do you call it, from this event. Okay, and we get a callback and an error callback. Oh, error back, we call it. Now what we need to do is, as soon as we connect, that means we connect it with the what do you call it, we need to send a message back to the server with our local parameters, okay, our DTLS, which is the SSL connection information, back to the server, and then we connect it after that. Okay, we're not quite connected yet, but we're about to go and do that right now. Okay, so we close our message, we're preparing our message back to the server. Okay, so after this we'll go back to the server and write this events, and we'll call this connect producer transport. Okay, and we will pass this guy down back to the server. Okay, that's the information we get back after we the server sends us back, and we put this thing on our local connection, and then our local connection has an event. As soon as it's on connect, okay, we will spit this out, and then we send it back to the server. Okay, and then the server does this thing, which we about to go and do right now. Okay, all right, as usual, our response message, we need to stringify it. Message same, yep, and then socket.send RESP. Alright, cool, and we have to do a callback here. This callback means this is done. Okay, we really should be listening to the server. Maybe we'll do that in a sec. Okay, let's go to the server and do this part. Okay, the connect producer transport. Hey, this is confusing. Anyway, and you know what, it took me ages to figure this out myself. You know, it's not an easy task, this mediasoup. Alright, let's do that now. Let's do another one, another case. I think this video will be over an hour, honestly, and I won't stop, okay, this time, because we're a little bit behind, so let's catch up. Okay, so we do on connect producer transport. Okay, we want to pass the event and the WebSocket down. Okay, for those of you wondering why we have to pass the WebSocket on the server side and we did it on the client side, okay, because I want to show you both. If you put everything within this loop, within this, you don't need to pass the WebSockets. Okay, it's there. The reason why I show you this way is means all of this can be on a separate file. Okay, it doesn't have to be here. Okay, I'm showing you both, but on the client side we put it in the loop, so therefore everything has to be in one file. Okay, so that I hope that clarify why, you know, we're doing the same thing but in a different way. Okay, I try to show you the possibilities. Okay, you can do. Let's make this async. Okay, alright, and we're expecting events. It's a string, WS WebSocket. Okay, I don't think we're using this, but hey, we'll leave it alone for now. If it gives us error, we'll get rid of it later. Okay, what we need to do now is we need to await. Okay, now remember that producer transport up down here, we put it as a global variable. Okay, now we use it now, and we connect. Okay, now we're doing the connect between the server and client. Okay, and we destruct this, our DTLS parameters. parameters. Okay, I'm so afraid having typos. Okay, basically as we're putting this from our events, because we're getting that from the what do you call it, from this, we might have to change that to any, because otherwise we have to define the types. Let's put it on any. Sorry being lazy, otherwise this will turn out to be like a 2-hour tutorial, man. So let's do it any. And then we send it back. Okay, this part is simple. Pass this, that. Okay, and we need to tell the client, okay, we are done, we connected. Okay, so we call what do you call it? Producer connected. Let's do it. Connected. Okay, that's the event, and let's pass back a message. This message means nothing. Okay, that can be anything. So we'll just say producer connected. Alright, this is done. So now go back here. What we're going to do here is let's do it properly. Okay, let's not do the callback right away. Okay, we'll take that out and we'll grab the WebSocket at event listener. Okay, we'll do it this way. This is the proper way. Okay. Okay, and we get the events. So then we do the callback here. Alright. So we wait until we get this event. Then we say, yep, we tell mediasoup client, cool, we're connected, and we go to the next stage. Okay, so we're done here. Wow, almost there, guys. Hang in. Alright, the next event we need to listen is, hold on, okay, I think we did this wrong. This have to be in. Sorry guys, I'm confused as well. Let's put it in here. Alright, that's okay, this is the proper way. Let's check. Alright, we're still on the loop. Alright, the next event we need to listen on a client is produce events. It means when we have the media stream, or when we have a stream on our client, then we need to send it back to the what do you call it, the server with our actual stream. Okay, that's what we're about to do now. So transport.on, we'll call this produce, not what we call, but that's what it's supposed to be as per the documentation. Okay, again, async. Okay, this time we want to destruct the kind, what type of stream it is. Okay, RTP parameters, capability parameters. You see why we, TypeScript is the way to go, because otherwise you have to go back to the documentation to get what you're supposed to type in there. Okay, as TypeScript you'll get all of this. Anyway, let's continue on that. I think we'll put some comments, otherwise we stuff it up somehow. So go this function will be in transport producer. Okay, begin producer, begin transport on producer. Okay, that way we don't stuff it up. All right, what we're going to do here is when we get the stream, we need to pass that on, with to the server. So basically the type. Okay, we need to go back to the server again. Okay, so this is producer, produce, blah blah, produce, and then transport ID. Okay, we need to tell them the transport ID, because we got the transport ID when we initially connected, so mediasoup knows which ID to put the stream in. Okay, that's what it is. And the kind kind means video, audio, or video, audio, that's what it is. And mediasoup separates the video and audio. And this one, the final project won't have any audios in it. Won't have any audio, it only has video, because what do you call it, the audio you have to do another transport which we're not going to get into that. Okay, so that's it there. Okay, we skipped something, hold on, we'll cut that out. Comms message. Okay, we're doing our preparation, you know, sending it back to the server again. Alright, almost there, man. Then now responds, because we need to stringify this message. Okay, and then we're going to send it back to the socket. Okay, socket send response. Okay, and now we need to go back to the server again to do this guy here. And we won't do the callback. Okay, we need to do a callback here as well, but let's go to the server, make that, and decide what we want to call back before we make this. Okay, we'll come back to this. Let's go to our server, another guy here. Okay, let's got our break. Let's break it. All right, another case. Produce. Okay, that's what we need to write on produce. Break. Okay, same jazz event and WS. Okay, now let's go down there. Okay, hold on guys, we hang in, we're almost there. Cons on produce async, and we want our event string and our WebSocket. Okay, now let's destruct this event we're gonna get in from event. Okay, we're basically destructing this. Okay, we will be expect a kind. We want the kind, what type of video it is, or what type of media I should say, and the RTP parameters. Okay, and sorry, lazy again, any. I'm sorry. Okay, now we need to grab the producer. Okay, we need to grab this parameters again. We need to make a global thing here again. Let producer, and the type will be producer from mediasoup. Okay, once again this guy will go into an array, okay, and a production. Where are we? Here we go. And we will define this producer. Okay, await producer transport dot produce. Okay, so basically is telling mediasoup server is a stream. Okay, and make this guy a producer. That's what we're doing. Kind, and then we put in the RTP parameters. That's the ICE candidate information. Okay, for the pairs to connect. Okay, that's what this RTP parameters is. Okay, and then let's do the we need to return the producer ID back to the client. Okay, after we create it, so we call this response. Okay, equals. Okay, we want the ID equals producer.id. Okay, we will get that once we do that. And now we need to send it back to the person who sent it to us. Okay, WS. And then what do you call it? Produced. Okay, let's call it produced. And then we pass back the res, which is this guy here. Okay, now not only we have to pass it back to the whoever sends us, okay, we have to send this to everyone else in the room, so therefore we need a broadcast function. Okay, let's go and make that down there. Let's do it after the send, eh? Okay, so we do a broadcast means, you know, we send it to everybody who is in the room currently. Okay, that's what broadcasters means. Broadcast equals, we want the WebSocket and the type. It's more or less like send, but slightly different. Okay, string and a message. We'll call it MSG, eh? Which will be any. Okay, because we're not sure what it is. Alright, function. Okay, now we will do our stringify here, okay? JSON cons, let's call this cons res, okay? RESP, okay? Equals JSON dot stringify, and we want the message. Sorry, we skip a thing. We better construct this first before we do that, okay? So we do the message. Sorry about that, we start this again, okay? We want a type to be the type, which is this, what we're going to get in, and also type MSG, okay? We will put the message into our data, okay, under the data. That's what that is. And now let's do this. RESP equals, yeah, we skipped it before, sorry. We're going to stringify this, stringify message. Cool. Now we need to send it to everybody that is connected with this particular room, okay? So we go clients, go WS, clients. Okay, hold on a second. I think this is wrong. That should be server, okay? Wrong type. Because this is, we need to grab everybody in the server. So there we go, clients. So therefore when we pass a broadcast, we need to pass a different type of web, we need to pass the actual WebSocket server rather than just the WebSocket. Okay, and then for each, so we loop through who's online right now, okay? Client, we call this as client, okay? Then we go client dot send RESP. Okay, so basically what we're doing is we loop through the whole server of everybody is connected onto this room, and we're sending it back to everybody because everybody need to know a new producer is online. Okay, that's what we are doing. And now let's wire this thing up. Hold on a second. Okay, so now we need to broadcast after we send it back to the original person who send this producer. Okay, and now we need to broadcast everything. Okay, so we need to pass the web socket in. Okay, that's web socket. Okay, hold on a second, we need the web socket. Okay, we need another thing here, is web socket. WebSocket dot server. Okay, so up here we need to adjust this. We need the WebSocket as well. Wrong spelling, eh? WebSock. Okay, that's fine. I mean, yep, that's fine. WebSock. Okay, we're passing that down as well, so we get that. Okay, now what we're gonna do is let's call it has producer. Or let's say new producer, right? New producer. And we need to pass, what else we need to pass? New user, a message. New user. Okay, this is it. Okay, so basically is once we give the stream from the client to the server, and the server will connect it up with the client. Okay, the stream is here now. Okay, now we tell everybody that this is the producer ID. Okay, we send all this back to everybody, absolutely everybody in the room. Okay, we're doing here. All right, now we go back to the client. Okay, so what do we do when we have a publish function? Okay, let's go and do that now. Okay, hold on a second. Okay, now we need to go back to the client. Let's maximize that. Let's do another event listener here. Socket.event at event listener. Okay, published. Okay, that's what we're gonna get. And we will get our response. Okay, and we'll call this ESP. Okay, the moment we get that back, we will need to go call back, and then we need to put that ID in. Okay, RESP dot data, remember, dot ID. Okay, so we tell mediasoup, cool, it's connected. here's your callback. Alright guys, we're almost there. Okay, please hang in. I'm sorry it turned out to be a really long one, this one. I think there's one more thing we need to do here with the client, and we'll do some testing, okay, and we should the screen now. Okay, the last thing we need to do is, well, not the last thing, but almost the last thing, okay. Connection state change. Okay, we get this event from our transport, from our mediasoup client library. Okay, the state. Okay, what we want to do here, oops, let's do the comments there. Connection state change begin. Alright, I think we do that because otherwise if we skip one of these braces, the whole thing might not work. State change end. Okay. Alright, let's do this. Alright, we need a switch here as well because we're going to get many different events, okay, when the state changes. Okay. Alright, so we get that from the state, which we get from here. Alright, out of the box, the first case would be, it is a string, would be connecting. I think I spelled it right, yep. Okay, now if we're connecting, what we're going to do, we will go text publish, which is an element in our HTML, okay, in the HTML equals, will tell the UI, okay, we are publishing if it's connecting, okay, exactly what that is. Okay, the second case is when we connected, what we're going to do. Well, before we're going to do anything, we're going to break it first. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to get our local video, and we're going to put the stream inside so we can play it. Alright, that's what that is, and we pass in the stream. Okay, we haven't done the stream yet, which we're going to do in a sec down the bottom. Okay, and then the next thing, we're going to do this text publish. Okay, we're going to notify the client, I mean the front end. I have a feeling I got this spelling errors, Yep. Inner equals published. Okay, so our UI or our user know what's going on, okay, with our app we're going to do. And then one more, what happened if we failed? And we will close the transport. Okay, we'll get this transport, close. Okay, oops, close. We'll close the transport and end of story. Okay, that's what that is. And we're going to tell our UI in the HTML it failed. Okay, that's what we're doing. All right, cool. Almost there, buddy. Almost there. Now we're going to do our stream. Okay, which I will get user media. Okay, we'll get stream. Do a variable here first, and we'll do a try catch. Okay, before that we have to go and make a get user media function. Okay, down the bottom. Let's do it way down the bottom, why not? Okay, const get user media, we'll call that. Okay, what we want in here is, we want it as an async. Okay, and we want the transport, obviously. And is it a webcam? Okay, so if it's a webcam we do that, if it isn't then we do another. Okay, that's what that is. We do some check, make sure our device supports video. Okay, so we go device dot can produce, can it produce video? Okay, that's what we are doing, video. If it doesn't produce video, okay, then what we do, we just return it. Okay, maybe we're console error so we know what it is. Okay, when we're doing the development, console error. Okay, and we'll just say cannot produce video. Okay, that's when someone hasn't plugged in their webcam. Okay, you'll get this error. That's what that is. Okay, next what we're going to do is we need to do a stream do another variable in here. Okay, let's do a try catch. Okay, so stream equals is webcam. If it is at webcam, what do? We grab the camera. Okay, navigator, sorry, media devices, get user media. Okay, and we got video, true, audio, true. This is just standard web RTC stuff, if you're wondering what this is. Else, if it's a screen share, okay, because that's what we're going to do. If it's not a camera, we get the user media, get display media. Now autocomplete's not clever enough to grab this, and we want video to be true. Okay, cool, we got it. Yep. Now if it doesn't work, let's console error, the error, and then throw an error. Okay, we don't want to go any further. That's enough story. Okay, otherwise we will return the stream. Okay, done. Our function is done here. So now we'll go back here, right here. Okay, hold on a second. Okay, now we go back to here and we will do inside this try catch. It's practically the same as what we're doing down at the bottom actually, but this time we're calling a function instead of writing all that stuff up here. Okay, get user media. We're going to pass the transport over so that function can do the check. Okay, if it's a camera is webcam or not, because we've set that variable up the top, remember? So you know we know if it's a webcam or not already by this stage. Now we're going to get the track, okay, from the stream dot get video tracks. Okay, this is standard web RTC stuff. Okay, and we want the first track from the array because tracks comes in an array. Okay, we want the first one. Params equals, we stick this track inside object. Okay, we're almost there, guys. Now we do our producer. Okay, we've got that variable up the top. We want to save this. Okay, await transport dot producer, and we want to stick the params inside. Okay, so that's what we're publishing. All right, and then on the catch we have to deal with. Okay, if it doesn't work, we'll console error, and then we're going to tell the UI, you know, this isn't happening, failed. All right, I think this is it. Okay, I've spotted a couple of issues here. Okay, we better fix that. One is our device. We already declared it up there, so we better get rid of that. Okay, we don't need that. And then this thing here is wrong. Okay, this has to be outside the loop. Get rid of these. Just cut these. Okay, and put it below the connect. Okay, and let's start it up. Okay, and see if we got it going or not. Okay, the yarn start. Okay, we'll bring in that. Alright, that's our UI. Okay, let's see the console. Okay, see if we, okay, everything looks fine. Now if we go camera publish, okay, the producer's connected. Okay, that means we are connected to the server. For some reason it's not showing up here. Okay, we're going to look at that tomorrow. Okay, because today this has been going way too long for as planned it. Well, it's not planned it. Okay, so if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to see many more of this type of tutorials in the near future. And if you like to sponsor this channel, there's a Patreon link, okay, below the description or on the right hand top corner. Okay, thanks very much. We'll see you tomorrow.